Hey, welcome back to this new episode. Apologies again for the last one. I think the quality was quite bad. I'm still figuring out my setup, and it's somehow I have the same microphone, but it's very different if I record connected to the computer or if I record to the SD card, even though the settings seem to be the same. So yeah, I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, the topic on last week was really important to me, so I still uploaded it. I hope it's understandable. Today it's a little bit later in the day again. I'm more in the phase where I didn't get enough sleep and I'm a little bit tired. Sorry. Yeah, but I have something I was about to say on my chest, but it's not on my chest. It's in my mind, in my thoughts. Something that I was thinking about the last days, and it's about a topic that I've been struggling with, understanding what it actually really means, how to define it, and to understand how that works for other people and how that works for me. And that is empathy. So yeah, I'm still not 100% sure if I understand the word correct, and yeah, but I'm just gonna try to put into words what's going on in my mind. It's a few days old, but it's been coming back a few times, and I did write something down on my phone on a note too. So yeah, maybe a little bit on the background. The the struggle to relate to other people in certain situations, and in certain ways, especially when it comes to emotional reactions to life events, has always been difficult for me. Or it didn't, I don't know, it hasn't been really difficult for me, but my reaction sometimes was not has not been understood or not been tolerated or seen as rude or like unempathetic, I guess. And that a few years ago has actually led me to like investigate a little bit, and I literally had the thought of I'm like an like sociopath or something like that, and I think I might have said this before, but yeah, I did a questionnaire on that, which was negative, but it led me to looking into autism, and so I still am quite positive that I show traits of autism, very strong ones in some ways. Yeah, and that one is one definitely where the biggest problems arose in my personal life. And I don't know why or how, but a few days ago I had this idea, because I think it's officially said that autistic people often or may have or struggle with empathy, meaning not understanding or not being able to understand other people's emotions, or like this saying like putting oneself in another's shoes came to my mind a lot, which I thought is kind of okay. I'm gonna come to this later. And I did have these situations a few times where somebody was like really sad about something, or even really excited, or had some really strong emotion to a event in their life, or even in my life. Like I had it that I was about to do something, to go somewhere, and other people were way more excited about this than myself. And yeah, it often made me feel like emotionally numb, or like I don't have feelings at all. Sometimes people, were struggling to understand why I'm not excited, or why I'm not sad, or also why I don't have understanding for them. So it could be someone like literally crying and being like, this happened and I don't know what to do. And I would be like, well, I guess there's nothing you could do, so just leave it, kind of. Which seems quite unempathetic. Now, I was thinking about that word and this idea of putting yourself in another's shoes. Is that how you say it? And the thing is, like, I could put on your shoes, but I'm still walking in them with my feet. So what I mean with this is, like, we all have a certain set of experiences in our life. So if another person has a problem or a reaction to something, I can imagine myself in that situation, but all I can imagine is based on my prior experience that was somewhat likely to that situation. So if I have no idea how it is, so let's say nobody in my life died so far, like nobody close to me, and a friend says like, oh, someone in my family died and I'm really sad. Like, I don't know how that feels because it didn't happen for me, right? So even if I try to imagine what they feel, I can only relate that to my own experience. So that's where I'm kind of confused about that saying, like, put yourself into my shoes. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Okay, the shoes are uncomfortable, but they're differently uncomfortable for me because it's my feet. And maybe actually our feet are so different that it's uncomfortable for you, but they're quite nice for me. Or, yeah. And then I was thinking about like these social problems that arise between neurotypical and neurodivergent people. So, assuming that I am neurodivergent, that I'm on the autism spectrum, I would say that I'm experiencing the world very different than neurotypical people, and in many different ways. And so some things that make someone really sad, for example, like that something happens like emotionally for someone, like they are being let down by someone, for example, and they are really sad about it, they cry. It's like, if I'm let down by someone, I'm just like, okay, well, I can't trust this person, so I'm just gonna stay away from them. Like, that's usually a reaction that I would have, but I wouldn't feel sad about it. So if someone else feels sad about that, and I'm putting myself in their shoes, I'm like, okay, why don't you just stay away from that person? So that's what's going on in my mind. I feel like I have learned to a certain degree to still validate that, to understand, to know, like, intellectually, that someone else's, like, pain or sadness or whatever feeling they're feeling is, like, valid, even if I can't understand it. So another example for me is when people are having fun with something that is not fun for me at all. For example, like big group gatherings and parties and loud environments like that. It's very unpleasant for me most of the time. But now I'm happy for people that enjoying that. I'm happy you can do that. And I'm just gonna stay away. In the same way, if someone is sad about an event or is really excited and I'm like, okay, this would be not a big deal for me. I'm like, okay, but it's a big deal for you, so I'm happy for you. Or you're sad, so I can still be there with you, and yeah, just accept and validate someone else's reaction. And yeah, I hope that I'm better at that. But maybe there's areas where I still don't understand that. So yeah, I feel like everybody who is informed in some way about autism and neurodivergence, like, heard something like that before. So I don't think that's big news. But the thought that came to me was, well, we are often seen, like, again, we in quotes, like, neurodivergent people, like especially autistic, are seen as unempathetic. Like, we don't understand how other people feel in their emotions. And I get that. And at the same time, we are often not understood. Like, for example, when I ask a very clear and direct question and don't get a clear answer, and then I don't know how to deal with that. Or or somebody tries to talk about something superficial and I get disinterested, and they're like, oh, what's going on with this guy? He doesn't want to talk to me. And so I think that's the same thing. So so I have certain experience, other people, neurodivergent people, have certain experiences that oh my god, I'm getting confused. Neurodivergent people have certain experiences that neurotypical people don't have, like this, like freezing or getting really overwhelmed because something in a plan changed, or getting confused because you don't get a clear answer to a clear question. Like, I feel like a lot of people, that are not on some kind on that spectrum, they don't have these experiences, and so in the same way that we can't emphasize with them in certain areas, especially when it comes to emotions, they often can't empathize with us. Like, right? People got mad at me for not answering or not speaking. Even though I never, I don't know, I feel like I always have the right to not talk if I don't feel like it. So yeah, for some people that is really upsetting. And in the same way, other things are upsetting for me or for us. So that was kind of like this wow, aha moment that I had these days, where I feel like it's not that neurodivergent people are not empathetic, it's that we have different experiences. And I mean, I've used those words so much now. Of course, there's not this one box of autistic people and one box of people that are not autistic, and we don't understand each other. Of course, it's not that black and white. And I would say that this happens in general all over life, with all kinds of different people, that sometimes we have different experiences, and so we can't really relate to another person's response or actions. And I feel like when it comes to that crossover, that people are more on that autistic spectrum, as I believe that I am, and people that don't seem to be there, like people that are very comfortable with having casual conversations and don't get overstimulated so easily from different sensory inputs. People that find it easy to understand things that are not meant literally, and can read between the lines and understand like irony and all of these kind of unwritten social rules. And then people who are not able to do that, or not able to do that so well, I feel like there's often these conflicts. And yeah, maybe this is also nothing so new, but it was a new idea in my head, which I don't want to use to say like, well, it's not our fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I just feel like instead of thinking, well, there's this one group of people who are not empathetic, so let's kind of find out what's wrong with them and deal with that, I think it probably makes more sense to think of it like that. Our brains just working differently, and we both don't understand each other in different areas of life. And I am very positive that we can still learn from each other, and like I said it before, like at least understand on an intellectual basis why other people act in a certain way. So again, for me, there will be like understanding that some things trigger emotions in other people that don't do the same in me, and I can validate that. And also that other people can understand that things that are like easy and everyday and they don't even think about it, it's automatic, can be troubling or hard for us. And even if they don't understand, like, don't have this experience, can't really relate to that, maybe can still like accept, recognize that it is that way, that it's not just like that it's not just about like getting your shit together, but that it's also a real experience. And yeah, and just validate that. I feel like that way we we can help each other. It's easier to be around each other, and I think we can learn a lot from each other. So yeah, I think that's the basic message I want to send out with this these few thoughts expressed. I feel like, I don't know if it's just the same like time of the day and lack of sleep, but I feel the same like on the first episode, where towards the end my brain just kind of shuts down and I'm not sure how to make words anymore, or at least not how to finish a sentence. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for listening. I love you very much. Until soon. Bye.